now. They are worried about the next election, and they are worried about the next quarterly earnings statement from their donors, from companies like Raytheon, from companies like Boeing, from companies like General Dynamics. And these people, the revolving door is spinning incredibly fast, because no matter whether it's a Republican or a Democrat, Raytheon is well represented in the Pentagon. As you all know, you don't need me to tell you, the guy who is running the U.S. military stepped straight off of the board of directors of Raytheon Technologies. This is all right out in front of you. They're not even hiding the corruption anymore. They're bragging about it. But I hear a lot of us were arguing about things that have already happened. We're talking about the right and wrong of this. We're talking about who's to blame, when there, believe me, there is plenty of blame to go around. You know, the origins of it, we're in the 21st century now, but people have decided we need to go back to 20th century thinking and a Cold War mentality. And I'll tell you, the human race is not going to survive in any way that you want if we are going to bring that thinking into the 21st century. So, in fact, I don't want to talk about the origins. I want to talk about what's coming. Because we are already seeing the fallout, the economic fallout from this war. And I'll warn you, that could turn out to be actual fallout if we're not careful. This is the most dangerous time in terms of the threat of nuclear war since the Cuban Missile Crisis. The worst in 60 years, even the president admits that. And yet, we are still pouring fuel on the fire that is this war in Eastern Europe. Because there is plenty of money to be made. That's why. But like I said, in Europe, they are already feeling deeply. They're worried about freezing this winter. Yeah. And if you think we're immune to that, let me tell you, I mean, the market for energy is global. You're going to feel it, you're going to see it in your bills. And what is that going to do? Because if people on the left are not talking about how we're going to solve this problem, and people are going to connect their energy bills to this war in Ukraine, they're going to get it, right? And they're going to care about it because it's their wallet. They're going to have to decide whether they're going to heat their house or feed their kids. And they're going to connect it to this war in Ukraine. And if people on the left are not talking about this, and talking about how this is the corporatocracy that has their hand in your pocket, then people on the right are going to start talking. And I don't mean, you know, I don't mean the average Republican either on the right. I'm worried about what could happen if really the nationalist forces rise up. We've already seen a little bit of it, right? And we're seeing it in Italy. We're seeing it in Europe. Hard times make people turn to some really dark solutions. So if we are not speaking up and speaking out to people with the solutions to these problems, they're going to find them elsewhere, even if they're not real solutions. You know, I've heard not a single Democrat voted against the Ukraine aid. And the Republicans who did, you know, frankly, pretty crazy people like Marjorie Taylor Greene are up there saying, you know, we can't give money to Ukraine because babies can't, you know, mothers can't get formula for their kids.
Where are you?
So if people on the left are not speaking loudly to these issues, people are going to turn elsewhere. So we have to be ready for it. The effects of this war are going to be deeply felt, and soon. So get ready. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. No politician can solve this problem. The only one who's going to solve the problems, our problems, are ourselves. So seriously, reach out to people of all ideologies and let them know. These politicians, they don't care about you, they care about the donor class. And the only one who's going to solve our problems, like earlier Brian said, right? Workers are going to solve workers' problems. right? People are going to solve the problems of the people. Don't put your trust in politicians. This is